Hello. Gaming. Every game is made of so-called, by me, pillars. I would say those pillars that I talk about that hold the whole game up are the story, the gameplay, the music, and of course the characters. You can have a bad story or a mediocre story and good characters. For example, in my opinion, Dying Light is one of such. I don't know why I have this on, but I think that Dying Light has good characters but has pretty average story. However, one of the best pillars that hold the whole game up, in my opinion, is the gameplay. And this one pillar is made of actually two, because combat in many games has many forms. In fantasy, for example, those are the combat system, that is melee fighting, archery and magic. In Dying Light, gameplay has two separate pieces, the parkour and the combat. Today I want to talk about the combat part of Dying Light. I already spoke about the parkour part. I think that the grappling hook makes basically the parkour part trivial. However, the combat in Dying Light, it is simple at the first sight, and when a person gets all the abilities and gets used to the fighting, it is pretty easy to get. Of course, there are many enemies in Dying Light. It is very easy to get yourself into a bad position and basically die. There are many weapons, most of them are melee weapons. Their differences aren't that big also if it comes to melee weapons, but there are also ranged weapons like rifles, shotguns, pistols. However, what is so good about the combat in Dying Light, in my opinion, it is the movement. It is the parkour part. It blends. The parkour part of Dying Light blends into the combat. We can dodge our enemies like in many games. We can dodge their attacks, we can kick them to stun them, we can drop kicking is the funniest way to kill zombies in this game. However, it is not the most efficient. We can charge at them, which is in my opinion the most efficient way. We can slide under the zombies and we can jump over them to escape them, or jump over them and immediately fall on them and just slaughter them with one strike. If it comes to Dying Light, I think that all this movement is made perfectly. I don't know how it is in this second game. However, in this game, all those things they work, and I think that it is perfectly done in this game. The way we slowly get all those abilities. Every ability that we get in the game, it opens the game more, because we don't have all of them immediately. I think, however, that the stamina for parkour and combat, I think it is a little bit of a mistake, especially at the beginning. I think it is too low, you know, like getting tired after 3 strikes. That's like too much of a bother, you know. It's not really good, I think. But that's just my opinion. However, in the late game, when we have infinite fighting stamina, when we have infinite running stamina, all the abilities, it's just great. If it comes to the weapons, most of them are the same. There are two-handed weapons, there are, like I said, melee weapons. To me, they are the same. There are knives that are quicker, there are one-handed weapons, there are blunt weapons. The damage we do to the enemy, the visuals differ, yes, and they can differ like a lot. However, my favorite weapon in Dying Light is the volatile hunter sword. It is not the best looking, it doesn't do the biggest damage. However, I think it is one of the best weapons if it comes to fighting volatiles, because it does both fire and electricity damage. It can stun the volatiles and it can also set them fire, although stunning part with electricity happens way often, in at least when I fight volatiles. Also, the other part of the gameplay that I love a lot is the camouflage system, that you can camouflage yourself and take down zombies silently. I like that you can go basically to volatiles with this, except the evolved blue volatiles. Those guys are smart, they know that you are hiding. However, I think it is a very good mechanic, I like it a lot. Volatile Hunter Sword, going back to this weapon, I think it is not the best weapon if it comes to fighting like at night or at day at all. So you may wonder now, why is it good at all? It is good when the shed goes down, because of these two bonus damages it does. These two bonus effects, fire and electricity. Because when the shed goes down, you don't really want to run away, or you can't run away. it is good to have both of them. Like Nightwalkers, they just gonna burn and gonna get electrocuted. Volatiles, they are gonna get electrocuted. So yes, those two effects are very good, I think. Are there other weapons that I would say are as good? Because like Volatile Hunter Sword is basically because of my bias the best. There are a ton of good weapons, like basically this game, because it's a single player, it has multiplayer, but you know, it doesn't matter, it has good weapons. You know, other weapons, it is just those two. For example, if it comes to looks, Blade Max is my favorite, but you know, overall use, it's Volatile Hunters. Basically weapons, I just like the sword the most, but Baton is also very good, because the sword, and now I will explain why the sword is my favorite weapon. Because Volatile Hunter Sword, you can take a two-handed weapon and turn it into one-handed, and also when you swing it with both weapons, but it is very quick, so that's why it's my favorite. Overall, I think that Dying Light, if it comes to combat, is a perfect blend between it being complicated and being easy, because you may go through this game without doing a few moves. You don't really need to do anything. You can just hack and slash and then run away and just drop kick enemies, but you can do all of the moves. You can camouflage yourself, do some stealth kills, then you can go and charge into your enemies, then do takedowns on them when they are down, just bashing their heads. You can also go and jump over your enemies, drop on them, killing them, you know, impaling them with your weapon. You may do a charge in one instant, charge then stop, then the enemies just fly away. But also one thing that is a must-have if it comes to the fighting, it's the instant escape, where you just go and bang the enemy. It is completely broken. It is a must-have, because the zombies, the biters, they grab you constantly and you just need to have it. So overall, the combat in Dying Light, a 10-year-old game now, solid, completely solid, one of the best combats I've played, because of the movement, because of the depth. It may not look that there is much depth in it. Yeah, there are much deeper games, but there is some depth into it. So overall, I really recommend. Overall, I really like the combat. I think it's great. So yes, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to glaze Dying Light some more. Not like I already didn't on this channel, but it's really great. Have a good day, good night, or good evening, and goodbye.